Welcome to the Explainer. So, you've had a massively long day. You finally sit down, boot up your PC, grab your controller, and you just want to lose yourself in a game for a bit. But the software you rely on? Yeah, it has completely different plans. It's so jarring, right? Just a truly frustrating reality when technical roadblocks get in the way of your hard-earned downtime. Today, we're targeting a very specific, incredibly annoying roadblock that totally derails those gaming sessions. We're talking about DS4Windows failing to launch, completely crashing, or blatantly refusing to save your meticulously crafted settings. We're going to break down exactly why this happens under the hood and give you the definitive step-by-step roadmap to permanently fix it. No more guesswork, no more pulling your hair out, just clear, structured solutions to get you right back in the game.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this for a second. You've just spent 20 minutes carefully tuning your controller profiles. You've mapped every single button perfectly for a specific game. You've tweaked the analog stick dead zones to match your exact playstyle. You close the app, open it back up later, and everything's gone. Poof, blank slate. Or, perhaps the application just stubbornly refuses to open at all, no matter how many times you click that icon. It genuinely feels like the software has sudden amnesia. And I really want to validate that frustration right out of the gate, because you aren't doing anything wrong here. And honestly, the software isn't fundamentally broken either. What's actually happening is a massive miscommunication between DS4Windows and your operating system. Your computer literally thinks it's doing you a huge favor by blocking this app. It's setting up a clash that we're going to untangle right now.
To make absolutely sure you're in the right place, let's just run through the specific symptoms our source guide outlines. If your DS4Windows is checking any of these boxes, maybe it outright refuses to open at all, or it fails to start the background service. Maybe it launches for a split second, giving you a glimmer of hope, but then it crashes the moment you actually connect a controller. Or, worst of all, it seemingly runs fine, but gives you that amnesia we just talked about the very next time you boot it up. If any of that sounds familiar, stick with me. By fully understanding the underlying mechanics we're covering today, you're going to be entirely done solving this problem.
Section 1. The culprit. Write protection.
Right, so we know the symptoms. Now let's transition from what you're experiencing over to the actual root cause of the disease. Behind all these crashes and unsaved profiles, there's a single invisible culprit working against you in the background. It's a system-level feature called write protection. To understand why this is breaking your specific gaming setup, we kind of need to look at why this feature exists in the very first place. See, Windows uses write protection as this heavy-duty security guard. Its job is to stop unauthorized changes, especially malicious software or viruses, from rewriting core system files, which, is an incredibly important defense mechanism. Think of it like a giant digital padlock. The problem? Well, DS4Windows is a portable application. It's constantly trying to write and save simple configuration files. If the folder where DS4Windows lives is locked down with write protection, the application physically cannot write new data to your hard drive. No saving new profiles, no saving custom settings, and no applying critical updates. It is completely trapped in a read-only state. So when the program desperately tries to save your new controller setup and hits that locked door, it either fails silently or the whole application just panics and crashes straight to the desktop.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core issue here. The crucial point is understanding exactly where that lock gets applied, because Windows treats different locations on your hard drive very, very differently. When your DS4Windows is installed in high-security bureaucratic zones, places like program files, the main Windows directory, your desktop, or directly on the root of your C drive, it's operating in a highly restricted area. These locations demand special administrator security clearances for absolutely anything to be changed or saved. Contrast that with your documents or downloads folders. These are your safe, personal spaces. They're standard user folders that do not require special permissions. When the application is living in these personal folders, it doesn't have to fight a digital bouncer. It can just work freely, instantly save your data, update itself, and operate exactly as the developers intended.
Section 2. The permanent fix. Relocating DS4Windows.
So now that we actually understand the why and see how the operating system is throwing up these walls, let's move directly to the how. We need to get your software out of that high-security lockdown. And this brings us to the primary long-term solution. Guys, it is incredibly simple, requires zero advanced technical knowledge, and completely solves the headache: relocation. If your DS4Windows is currently sitting in a restricted folder, like program files, all you need to do is physically move the program away from the digital bouncer. Just copy the entire DS4Windows folder and paste it into a safe location. The source guide highly recommends using your personal documents or downloads folders. Oh, and it's absolutely vital to remember. Do not just dump it directly onto the main C drive root, because that triggers the exact same security protocols as program files. Keep it tucked neatly into a user subfolder by documents. And once you've successfully copied everything over to its new home, make sure you go back and delete the old folder from the restricted location. That way you don't accidentally run the wrong one later. That's literally it. You've freed the application.
Section 3. Optional. Checking your folder permissions.
Now, for those of you who want to be absolutely certain before you start moving files around, or hey, if you just love a good mini investigation, there's a way to peek behind the curtain and see exactly how your Windows system is handling your folder access. Here is your verification checklist. Let's walk through this together. First, navigate to wherever your DS4Windows folder is currently sitting, right-click that folder and select Properties, right down at the bottom of the menu. Next, in the little window that pops up, click over to the Security tab. Finally, look at the permissions list specifically for your user account. What you're looking for are check marks next to Full Control or Right. In the context of Windows, full control is the literal ability for the software to alter its own configuration files without asking a human for permission. If you're looking at that screen and you do not see those check marks, well, you've just found your smoking gun. That confirms the folder is locked down with right protection, and it entirely validates that you need to follow the relocation steps we just went over.
Section 4. The Administrator Band-Aid.
Okay, so what if you're incredibly stubborn? What if you just insist on keeping your files exactly where they are in that restricted program files directory? Well, Windows is essentially just trying to protect us from our own gaming controllers here, but there actually is a way to bypass the security guard without moving the building. We've got two options here. The first is that move folder method we just detailed. It's a permanent fix, and it gets a resounding yes as our long-term recommendation. But below that, we have the run as admin method. This is a temporary fix, what I like to call the Administrator Band-Aid. By right-clicking the DS4Windows app and selecting Run as Administrator, you're essentially handing the app a temporary VIP pass. This forces Windows to grant the app temporary clearance to bypass that write protection lock for that single session, meaning, yes, your profiles will actually save, but as a long-term strategy, this gets a very firm no.
The source guide is very explicit about why this is discouraged. Running as administrator is purely a workaround. It is not a fundamental solution. Sure, while it hands over that VIP pass and allows the data to save in the moment, it introduces massive friction into an experience that really should be totally seamless. Just think about it. You have to manually right-click and explicitly approve a user account control pop-up prompt every single time you just want to sit down and play a game. It totally breaks your flow. Moving the program to a normal user folder removes the restriction entirely from the equation. It allows the app to just boot up and run smoothly in the background exactly when you need it, without begging for permission every single time.
So by simply moving a single folder over to your documents, you instantly regain total control over your controller profiles and completely stop the crashing. It's a real game changer. Plus, you're now officially a bit more tech-savvy about how your operating system handles security. But it does leave you with a fascinating question to ponder. If Windows folder permissions have been quietly locking down your controllers this whole time, what other applications on your PC are secretly underperforming, failing to update, or restricting your settings entirely simply because of where they're installed? It really makes you rethink how you organize your whole digital workspace, doesn't it? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, I hope your next gaming session is absolutely crash-free.